And with that, we are back with a B Music Source single play exhibition first by Beachside Bunny. So, Beachside Bunny, take it away.
Hi, yeah, I'm BeachsideBunny, also like better known as Nieners. I play this game quite a lot. Me and my friend Kazo, we play it a lot. I play SP, he plays DP. I'm just gonna show you a couple of charts, show you some interesting music, and hopefully put on a good show for you guys. So I'm gonna just...
No, it's fine, it's fine. You say you play this game a lot. Shouldn't you say like every day?
Something around the everyday mark.
Your soul there.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with some simpler charts, something easy so I can warm up again a little bit, and then we'll jump into the hard stuff.
Yeah,
this chart especially has some gimmicks, as you can see. It jumps around a little bit, and the next chart I'm gonna be playing also has a couple of gimmicks, so it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Keep in mind that whenever he says something easy, it is from his own perspective, and he's been playing this game for, well, as he said, quite a lot. So this is BMS. BMS isn't really a game, but to be perfectly precise, it is a file format that is used by BMS players, like this one that he's currently playing on. So it is a file format for a rhythm game. What's wrong?
Is the stream picking that up?
Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna assume it does not pick it up.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, something went off in my PC, but it's fine now, I guess.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Alright, so, well, as I was saying, this is player for file format, which represents which notes you have to play at what time. And you have to keep in mind that the music that's playing in the background, the music that you hear, is maybe even more than half of it is actually played by the player, because every single note that you see in here has its own sound. It might change over time. It might be, for example, a kick on button number 1 or something, and then it changes to a snare or whatever. But all these that you see represent some kind of a sound that you hear in the song. And it actually brings me to songs themselves, because you might think like, oh, okay, string music on over here. It's like, but you need to keep in mind that every single song that you're gonna hear in here is made by the community, for the community. In fact, literally everything you see in here is made by the community, for the community, because BMS itself was created by people who wanted to play a game like Speedmania 2DX, which is usually a Japanese game available only in the arcades, so that they could play it at home. So they invented this, and its current state is vastly different from what 2DX is. As I said, that one is an arcade game, and with BMS, it is not really a home version, but I could say that it's a completely separate game with the same input method, in a way. Because the way this works, for example, submitting music, if you're a musician, for example, you can choose some kind of an event that's gonna be organized at any time, because for example, there's several big events, big BMS events, which to which people submit their own music, their own charts, their own videos that you see in here. Everything, as I said, remember, created by the community, by teams of people who wanted to make that. And then after the submission periods, players themselves, they play all the songs available and then rate the charts in order to determine the winner. You don't really get any kind of reward for that, other than just being recognized as someone who won the event. However, there are some people who started out as BMS artists and then eventually became artists for official games like Humani games and others that you might already know. And it's sung by Litmus. Litmus is actually very known for weird VGAs, so background animations. You can see this video here. I don't really know what is its plot, but you can just watch and enjoy it. Oh, that's a gimmick chart as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Nice. How many do you have in here? Do you plan to play Cultivator?
I actually could not get it, like, downloaded.
Ah, I see.
But don't worry, I'll make it up with some interesting things.
You're already making it up with all these interesting things, like 2 gimmick charts, by the way, in the beginning. if you know rhythm games well, then you already know how it's meant to play and how you develop your reading skills, your, I say button pressing skills over time. But if this, for example, your first time seeing something like this, or at such a level especially, you need to keep in mind that nothing is actually memorized. Maybe there are some minor parts that you might memorize because, for example, there's a weird part in some kind of a song, some kind of a chart that you need to remember to play it well. But everything you see in here is played just by reading it. And it might seem impossible to you if you're not used to it, because, you know, it takes a lot of time. But it really is how it is. Just look at all the notes and use your muscle memory, essentially, to press everything correctly. Because your brain automatically, over time, knows what to do. So just to, you know, give you a very short explanation on the controller, because you can see the hand cam, all the blue notes are corresponding to the block buttons on the keyboard, and all the white notes are corresponding to the white keys on the keyboard. And this red one that you see every once in a while appearing on the right side is corresponding to the scratch. You have to move it either up or down, for example, like here, just by a little bit, and that's gonna treat it as an input.
Yeah, I'm
nice
seeing.
Play. I didn't see this one before.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty good. I actually learned it like 10 minutes ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm seeing some comments in chat about it being memorized or not. Actually, I'm turning on the option random, which essentially shuffles the lanes around. I'm pretty much warmed up now, so I'm just gonna step it up a little bit and go into some slightly more difficult things.
Nice.
But essentially, every time I play one chart, or one level rather, it's different.
Yeah, so even if you wanted to memorize it, the option he plays with essentially ensures that the chart is going to be different every time. So the only thing you could potentially memorize if you really wanted to would be the general rhythm, or like how many notes are where, which part is more dense than the others. So there's absolutely no way to know how exactly the chart itself is going to look like. So there you have something like this of such density. But and could you imagine memorizing like 2,000 and more notes over like 2-minute songs? And this is the kind of density that you usually see here. Like it is at least 2,000 notes here per 2 minutes of song, because 2 minutes is like this classic length of the charts that you know of the songs that are usually submitted for BMS events, and it's actually treated like kind of like a standard for all the rhythm games. So it's usually something like that. And yeah, remember, stuff it up a bit, but keep in mind, this is from the perspective of someone who plays a lot. But this is actually the same thing as with speedruns. Like, you can imagine someone doing speedrun tricks, which are like 5 frame perfect inputs that you have to do in a row. You will learn these eventually over time if you spend so much time. So it's this amount of skill, but good in a different game.
We have time for a quick donation.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful, because we have $25 from Green Ferret saying, thanks for having me. Forgot how many times I got special, so I reckon this will cover it. I think you're good to go with those $25. Thank you very much for that, Green Ferret. And please let me remind you, folks, if you want to donate, there are some bid incentives and bid wars still open. So if you want to put your money towards that, please don't forget to select it on the donation screen so that your money is put towards what you want to what you wanted to go for. Thank you very much for all of your generous donations.
Yeah, and I've also seen someone mentioning that that chart that you played just now was level 2. But you need to keep in mind, this is level 2 of a specific difficulty scale, because the way it works in DMS is there are several difficulty scales that you can play on. There is normal ones, so it obviously starts with like 1 and goes up to 12. And it is the basic difficulty you will see if you want to start playing this game. And yes, there are easier charts. For example, level 1s have like only maybe up to, let's say, 100 notes over the span of 2 minutes, so it's something that you can practice on. It's something that can start out and hang of the game, start to understand how it works. And and then over time, when you get better and better, you will eventually run out of levels to play on. So there are another scales that essentially are put in on top of that normal one. There's normal, insane, and above that insane, there's overjoy. So this previous card that you played right now, I think this one as well is overjoy too. So it's like, remember, 2 whole scales higher than the basic one.
That stop never gets old.
So there, well, just in case several other scales, but they're not really that important to mention right now. But if you will get into it, you'll eventually see those. Oh, primitive. End up density the nice double A.
Thank you. Way far off my PB, but you know.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What kind of music do you guys like?
Eurobeat.
Eurobeat.
It has to be Eurobeat.
I don't know.
If you have anything close in here, sure.
You know what? How about I show off a scratch chart first?
Yeah, why not? Sure, because you know most of the charts that you will see while playing the game are gonna have most of normal notes, right? Because you know that's usually what you play, and this kind of scratch that you see on the side is considered to be like the gimmick that makes it different. That makes this game different from any other games. However, there are some charts like this one, for instance, which focuses specifically on scratches.
In the later stages, but yeah. And it also has a slowdown, a so-called BPM change, which makes the scroll speed a lot slower, depending on how low the BPM changes to. And you can imagine if you're used to one single reading speed or scrolling speed of the notes, whenever this changes, it gets really difficult to read. So it's basically a different skill set.
Yeah, you might think like the scroll getting slower is gonna make it easier because you have like more time to react to notes that are falling. But actually, what happens is that all the notes that you see are so densely packed together that it just gets more difficult to read them. There we go, that's the part. And not only that, you also need to scratch accurately. Like you need to remember how and when to move your hand like this. That's great. Click all the buttons with your other hand.
Oh.
Yeah, very easy to get lost here. Ah, nice. But still very close to getting the heart clear. And I could actually explain what this bar underneath the playfield means. You can see it changing every once in a while. It starts with yellow color, then usually changes to red, and after that it changes to other colors. What that means is that there are separate bars, like life bars, let's say, which measure your performance on a specific chart. And first two that you start with are the most difficult ones. And if you keep those alive, if you keep those bars at more than 0%, you're gonna get a better clear type, which corresponds to a better lamp that you see on the song list. So eventually you will see, for example, all these lamps in here, like white, flashing, red, yellow, etc. So all these mean separate different clear types, and the more you have with a high clear, of course, the better it's gonna be for you, because you know that how well can you do a specific folder.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess we can step it up a little bit more. I'm feeling more comfortable.
This might not be the first time you see this game or even see us, but every single time you see this, you just progress more and more, because this game is basically a game of constant progression. There's maybe there is some kind of a ceiling or like a moment where you reach the peak, but it is always so far away at all times.
Yeah, the skill ceiling is barely visible, really. You could say that I'm a decent player, but there are a lot of people who are marginally better than me. It's crazy.
Like good random. I think this might be a good random. I see her going really well with that, with these 2 bars of the pacemaker. The bars that you see on the side, this red, green, and blue, are essentially comparing his targets, so where he wants to get score-wise, and where he was before, as in PB, and then his current performance. Because the way scoring works in this game is you get 2 points for a perfect grade, so this flashing colorful blue grade. Wait, isn't that a PB though?
It is a big PB.
Really nice.
It is a big PB.
It's not a clear, but it's a really big one.
It is
That's
a PB,
nice.
but I choked the clear at the end, unfortunately. So a little bit more about the clearing system. There are 2 gauges that are survival gauges that work like HP bars essentially, and that's the yellow and the red one. So if you die out of the yellow one, you enter the red one, and if you die out of the red one, you enter the 2 other ones, and the 2 other ones determine your clear if you end the song with more than 80%. So I ended it with like 74%, so that means I basically barely choked it.
But still, that was a PB, so
yeah, it was a pretty good PB. We take those. I already have that cleared, so.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, is that a good random?
Yeah, it was definitely a very comfortable
because
random.
whenever your lanes are shuffled, then you might eventually get some kind of a pattern that you prefer more to all the others. For example, like if you have kick on button number 1 and then scratches, you can then play this kick with one hand and scratch with the other. But if you have this kick on button number 7 due to randomized charge, then you know it might get a little bit more tricky, because you have to think, do you want to take your hand a little bit further and then play it with your, for example, thumb in this case, or do you want to play it with your thumb of the other hand that is scratching at the same time? But it all boils down essentially to muscle memory. Like, this decision is very, very quick when you have to make it. Yeah, I don't think I finished about the scoring. The specific... What I want to say is that for a perfect grade, so for this like blue flashing sometimes grade, you get 2 points to your total score. For this yellow grade, which is just a normal grade, if you play a little bit less precisely, you get 1 point. And for everything else, you get 0 points. So the scoring in this game is very, very brutal, and the only thing that counts are only precise clicks. And what I mean by precise, it really depends from chart to chart, but usually it is around 20 milliseconds both sides for a perfect grade. Or if the chart is on a more difficult timing, it is around 16 milliseconds both ways. So you can imagine how closely do you need to be tied to the music itself and to maybe even the sounds of her clicks in order to do everything properly. Is that recovery part?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was actually wondering, that looked really consistent over there, up until that the BMS ending itself. But yeah, that's great.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
clear.
That's -8. That's a pretty decent PB.
Minus
guess.
8, so keep in mind, it's like maybe from 4 to 8 notes clicked worse. So it's not a major difference. It's actually very, very, very tight.
Yeah, but we take those. We definitely take those. Oh yeah, this song. You guys are gonna like this one, I think. This is definitely one of my favorite songs.
Zillion shades genre. Like, it's actually worth mentioning that since all the music that you see in here is made by the community, you can essentially use whatever genre, whatever title you want. There's no specific limits. And actually, even in the arcade, Beatmania 2DX, genres are kind of abstract. For example, you can have a song with Yankee car frames genre, and in here, this one, for example, is described as what it was, Zillion Shades.
Yeah.
So it's always it's not always treated very, very seriously, but if you're wondering why are these descriptions so weird, that's pretty much what it is. People just got used to using such words and phrases like that. However you want to call it is gonna be the... So you can get anything ranging from, like, you know, classic, like, trance, or maybe even harsh noise if you really want to go there. There's, like, one that I know. But then, yeah, then you have some, like, Zillion Shades, or voice drama, or anything else.
The ending on this is notoriously difficult. Alright, let's see it.
Oh, I see, because all the jacks.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was incredibly difficult.
It's pretty hard.
Oh my god. Yeah, because like all this ending part was basically just jacks mostly, and what we mean by jacks is the specific pattern whenever you have to press the same button twice in a row, for twice or more in a row, just in a very quick time, one after another. And it's usually very difficult because whenever you have to go for play something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can just wave your hands or like go through all the buttons with your fingers. But whenever you have to use the same one all the time, it gets very, very tiring and sometimes even confusing. Beginning. that's how it usually is.
What?
This one is very chord heavy.
Oh yeah, it's a chord jacking chart for sure.
Right, I see. So yeah, we already said about jacks. Like, we can actually say a little bit about the patterns that you see in here and how we think about them, because I could say many different things like jacks, stairs, chords, or whatever, and you can maybe kind of imagine what these are, because like you probably know what a chord is, but in like this rhythm game terminology, whenever you hear that there's a chord jack chart, it is something like this, where you have all sorts of chords, so like multiple notes pressed at the same time, but also they can repeat over time. So something like this in here, if you can keep up, of course.
Yeah, I'll explain a little bit later.
Yeah, no,
So patterns like these are called chord jacks, and you want to hit them a certain way. For every pattern, there's usually a different technique to hit them with, and I'm speaking physical techniques. So right here, I'm exerting power out of my wrist mostly, and that's allowing me to basically reset after hitting every note and then going back down again to hit the button at full force, which then spring loads my fingers back into the air to repeat the process over and over again. If you look at my hands right now, you can see them, they're pretty much just jumping around the entire time. And I have to basically react at the pattern on screen and then come back down to hit the correct chord and then repeat over and over again.
So in this case, you use your wrist the most to get the most speed you can.
Yeah, like you tense up until here, and you can use your twitch muscle to, I guess, flick your wrist over and over again. And the buttons spring load them back up, so you can do it over and over again.
Yeah, by the way, the AAA on that thing, really nice.
Oh yeah, that's no problem.
Currently in Stella 4, so yeah. Very, very, very difficult table.
How about something a little more out there in terms of music? This is a very old song. This was probably made before I was born. I was born in the year 2000. I think this was made in 1998.
Actually, it might be. I don't really know that much about the charts, like how old they are, but yeah, it might be.
BMS has been around for a very long time, and it has gone through a lot of iterations. What started out as a file format to play Beatmania at home, as in the 5-key version, eventually upgraded to support 7 keys and the turntable once Beatmania 2 DX came out, which is the current game, I guess. And this song was probably among the first BMSs to be created, seeing as it was made around 1998 probably. That's my guess though, and I think it really goes to say something about BMS artists because the song itself has held up so well over the years. It's still a banger, even though it's so old.
Yeah, like the first player was called BM98, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, there's the year included in there, so you can imagine how old this is actually. And the community itself, even right now, is so active that it's great that it's stood over the years like this. And the events themselves, where people can submit their own music and charts, don't even get smaller. They could even say that they just get bigger and bigger over time.
Oh yeah, BMS is completely decentralized and it's all user-generated. Everything you see on screen was made for the people, by the people, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Literally everything, even like the skin you see in here that he's using in game, even the game itself that he plays on. Literally everything. Even the controller,
Yeah,
I should say.
the controller was
That's
awesome.
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny.
Also, I saw a comment earlier on stream about the fact that my face cam makes me look like I'm looking up a lot. I play this game standing, which I guess is another important factor. I don't know if you can see, but I'm standing right now. And I have a second monitor on my eye level, like on my eyesight level, mounted to the wall. And unfortunately, if I put the webcam on top of that one, you guys would see my bald spot. No, I don't have one, but yeah.
It just looks like that from that perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's gonna be fine. His hands are gonna be fine too.
Oh no, yeah. Because I guess at this level you have to start taking the game, you have to start thinking about the game as a sport instead of a video game, I guess. I take very good care of my hands and wrists and arms and knees.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. You have to care about actually warming up every time before you play.
Oh yeah, and I guess it's almost kind of cardio because I work up a humongous sweat every time I play this game. So it definitely is a sort of workout.
Especially in placing like this. Like the higher BPM goes, in this case 256, the more tiring it's gonna be. You played this one before, that's a banger.
Oh yeah, pretty good song, right? And I'm like pacing PB.
Yeah, I see it right now, 12 points. So it's not much, but it matters of course. Depend on the random and how well it treats you today.
Oh yeah, I made sure to pray.
Nice play. That was unbelievably demanding, and only -4. Like it's not a PB. Okay,
Humongous
but,
PB
you know,
right here. -21 on the miscount and a normal clear instead of an easy clear. Definitely.
Oh wait, I see now. Yeah, that's great.
Definitely
I was
happy
looking
with
at
this one.
Yeah, I was looking at the score only. I forgot about the clears entirely. Yeah,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
right. That's amazing.
It was pretty good. I'm definitely happy with that one for sure. Let's see. I'm not sure what to show you guys.
Yeah,
oh,
if you
I
choose
know.
Something for like the last song or something.
Oh
that'd be
yeah?
Great.
I guess I'll go hard then.
How hard?
Very hard. I might not clear this, but I still want to show it off to the people. Freedom Dive. This song...
Yeah, you definitely know it. And if you don't, you will right now, but it's considered one of the most popular rhythm game songs. Usually one of the most difficult songs. Which isn't always true, but it's usually very true. This well, actually is one of the most difficult charts. We cleared it only once so far, if I recall correctly, right?
Once.
Yeah, if it happens right now, it's gonna be absolutely amazing, but we'll see. We'll see.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, 222 BPM, very known song.
So, what a lot of people don't know, I guess, is that this song was actually made for DMS.
Yes, exactly.
It's
it
a DMS
out
original,
here
for sure.
in this game, for this game. And only then it's spread out to everything else.
My accuracy not that good, because I'm admittedly very nervous, but...
No pressure, it's just freedom dive.
Oh wow.
But yeah, this one really doesn't give you a break. It's like there are a few parts where you can rest your hands a little bit, like this one for example, but yeah, it's not really enough.
I can come back on this. my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, did not
This
amount
one
to
is-
much, but I'm glad I could show it off nonetheless.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult, and it heavily depends on what random you get. So, well, how many notes was that actually?
This
Let me just take a quick look.
is 4,522.
Yeah, so you can imagine, like, remember when I said it's usually above 2,000 notes? This one is 4,500.
Yeah, this one is a little on the dense side, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that's it for me, though. I think that's definitely time, right?
Right, yeah. That was
Yeah,
a great performance then.
We are past the halfway point on time, so guys in chat, if you've been blown away by that, we have something coming for you, because now we go into double play with Chazo. After a quick intermission, we won't go into any ads, but we do have to set up the stream again. So we'll be right back with Chazo playing the same game, but double play. And with that, we are back. Now we're seeing Chazo. Now we're seeing double play. Let's get this show on the road.
All right, thank you so much. So, well, I am Chazo. I was commentating a while ago, so Janus will be commenting right now.
Yes, sir.
And let me start with Blue Shock, which is a song that I always dreamed to play on an event like this, and I never did because I wasn't good enough. Or I think I actually did, but, you know, I never actually started the game with it. So, well, just to give you a simple introduction, what you see right now is two play fields. I'm going to play both at once. And I don't think there's much more to be said about it. If you've seen the first part, you know what the game is about. You know how the keys correspond to what you see on the lanes. So that's pretty much it. Just enjoy the music.
pretty good songs so far.
I didn't make like a proper playlist for this, but I'll make sure to choose only the bangers.
Oh yeah, I winged it as well. It's fine. So for SP, for single play, so only playing on one side the way I played, there are a lot of play styles, and they all focus on different aspects of the way you hit buttons, I guess. But if you look at Kazo's hand cam, you can clearly see that he's just gaming right now. There is only one standardized DP play style, as far as I know, in which your middle finger only hits the middlemost button of the top row, and the pinky finger is also static, as far as I know, and that's it. The rest of the fingers stay very much jump around the keys, because obviously, you know, humans have 5 fingers, not 7. So he has to be a lot more flexible, he has to react a lot quicker, and just generally, it is a completely different game with a completely different skill ceiling, and a lot less players, unfortunately, because as you might imagine, getting into double play is a little bit more expensive than getting into single play, since you have to get 2 controllers.
Yeah, what you described is pretty much the basic finger position that you expect if you want to start playing DP, but over time it gets a little bit more difficult, because maybe the pinky finger is, wait, let me show you like here, maybe the pinky finger is usually static when you play, but if you want to play extremely difficult songs, you will need to learn eventually how to use all the other potential finger positions, like move your middle finger or thumb further, so it's something that you will eventually need to learn. But basically, yeah, there's only one standardized playstyle that is used, because nothing else really makes sense. There's no specific way you can play this game differently. Actually, I could try a scratcher right now. Why not? I was kind of avoiding them usually, but I guess I should try maybe one. The Dark Carnival Osada. That would be nice.
Single play scratching might look cool and funky to do, but double play scratching is a whole different level, since he has 2 turntables to scratch on. It's about to get funky, as they say. Oh wow, great song.
I have to always keep in mind how to properly return to the buttons whenever they appear, because you move your whole hand. Oh, why is it lagging for me? Oh my god. You need to move your whole hand in order to scratch properly, usually. Like, you don't really do the same thing you would do in SP, unless you really need to scratch and press the button at the same time, but it rarely happens when you're playing DP.
Yeah, so what he has to do is move his hands out of the keypad completely to hit the scratches, and then also return to the keypad into the standardized hand position to be able to continue reading. And if you're, I guess, not as skilled as Kazo is, you're going to be messing up a lot and hitting in between the buttons. That's what happened to me when I tried playing DP. Yeah, it felt very unrewarding, to say the least. Pretty hard game. But pretty cool. Oh, that right scratch. Another thing that I guess is worth talking about is, you guys might be wondering, where on earth do we keep our eyes? Where do we fixate our eyes? I can tell you guys from experience, for SP, it's in a fixed position, usually varies between players. But the reason why I'm speaking about this, for DP players, as you can probably tell by Kazo's face cam, if you check out his beautiful eyes for a second, his eyes are jumping around left and right. He cannot keep static eyes, obviously, because he has 2 lanes to read at the same time.
Come on, that was so close. That is an assist clear, which is like a clear that they don't really treat too seriously, but okay. That was very close. I look over here, 77.6. Damn, okay.
Slight choke. We had some of those on my block as well, but yeah, these happen frequently, because trying to get a clear is something you only want to do once. And after that, you just try to lower your miscount over and over again. BMS charts are usually designed in such a way that the ending gets a little harder, And if you're just slightly not focused, you lose gauge, but you can still be able to set a PB. So once the initial clear has been set, it's not really like worth trying to get that same clear again. You want to be trying to lower your miscount, raising your score, or getting a different clear. Wow, this song is really good.
Yeah, I love it. It's really difficult.
I love those dance hall vocals.
It's really difficult. Especially because there's a lot of bursts that you have to take care of, but it's absolutely amazing.
Damn, what a banger. I have not heard this before. I gotta check if this has SP charts.
Yeah, it surely does.
Do we have time for a quick message?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Wonderful. Guys, I've been talking about our wonderful incentives before. But now let's get a bit more into it, because on the second run of tomorrow's stream, not today's stream, tomorrow's stream, we will have our very own Polister running Battle Block Theater any %, and there is an incentive for him to do the 8 Secret Showcase, which will be a stage that plays itself. We need $250 total for that. We are currently sitting at 35 of that. But if everyone whose mind is blown about as much as mine is right now donates just $5, we're blowing through that. So why don't we get a donation train in there? Just $5, anyone who can. It's really appreciated, and don't forget to select the incentive, and then we will have that met by the end of this run, maybe. So if you want to see that stage that plays itself in Battle Block Theater, please donate.
Speaking of donations, do you mind me asking for what charity this goes to?
Oh, of course. Our donations, or your donations, everything that we raise here, will support Crisis, a charity supporting people out of homelessness for good. They achieve this through education, training, and support with housing, employment, and health. 100% of your donations will be supporting Crisis, and here's a bit about what they do in their own words. So every bit of their work is integrated, and all of it contributes to their purpose of ending homelessness. The services they provide are carefully informed through their decades of experience of working with homeless people and the research they've carried out over the years. Their research is driven by the knowledge from working side by side with homeless people every day, and this influences their campaigning for permanent change.
Sounds amazing.
That previous chart, Flinty, was actually a prime example of what happens whenever you put too many scratches next to notes on DP. Because you need to really get used to those, because when you have to scratch, as I said, usually take your hand off the keypad. So your thumb kind of tries to reach over to the notes whenever you have to. And it messes me up whenever I have to return to the keyboard afterwards. That's really tricky. And that's together with all the bursts over there. This one is another banger. I love this song. I mean, there's a reason it's my favorite songs, actually. Yeah, it's very tricky in a way, because I have to, you know, I'm not really playing chords, but it feels like a very, very tough gachi chart. So gachi is a specific technique where you lift your hands every time after you click the notes in order to treat every note sort of seriously. I don't really find a better explanation. I can't really find a better explanation for that.
Gachi oshi is a Japanese term that I believe literally translates to serious hitting.
Yeah.
And it returns to what I explained about hitting, like exerting power from the wrist, where you want to basically take, as Kazo said, take every note seriously and hit it with full force. Obviously, this is only doable up to a certain BPM because, I mean, we're not superhuman. So, for example, this song is 222 BPM, but
I mean, it's up to 222. I think isn't it 160 right now, or was that during the slowdown?
No, we're at 2-2-2.
Oh my god, okay. That's why I have so many problems with it. By the way, it's very, very difficult to compare single play to double play because your like first intuitive guess might be that, okay, double play is definitely way more difficult than single play because you have so many nodes to care about. But I actually, even though I play this for quite a while, I can't read or even play single play at all because I don't really understand what's happening on the screen there. The source of the problem is that it's so much more dense, it's so much more compressed, everything is so close together that I don't really understand how my fingers should move there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
They might be two game modes within the same game, but they are most definitely to be considered as two separate games. The meta is different, the charts are different, the playstyle is different. Basically, everything is different.
Yeah, you can't really play on random when you play double play because most of the patterns that you see are specifically created for double play because there's a lot of them that are physically impossible. So you have to put a little bit more thought into what you do when you're charting.
This song, Lonely Maisie, absolute banger. Right
Yeah,
here.
I love it. I just couldn't skip it. It's really difficult though. I really hope I won't mess up too much.
Oh yeah, this is a lot denser, I see.
Yeah, it is. And it's very long because it's like 4 minutes, if I recall correctly, or 3 minutes 30 seconds. So it's very demanding. Has a couple of jacks, not too many breaks. So it's quite something. Previously I was running out of stamina when I played this, but eventually I practiced, so it's not a problem anymore. Stamina-wise, it's just the patterns.
So the usual length of a BMS song and chart are maximum of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but some songs are an exception. For example, Lonely Maisie, this is the full version. It's an entirely professionally produced song that was also made for BMS, and it's the full version, so it's about 3.5 minutes. There's also way longer charts. We call them marathon charts, fittingly. There are songs that go up for upwards of 8 minutes to 9 minutes even, and without breaks. And I guess you can assume the level of stamina you need to be able to play those.
And I absolutely love them. Like, in my personal opinion, the longer the chart is, the better. I don't know why. I just love the feeling of playing extremely long charts. That's why this one is even better for me.
Long charts are definitely fun. I agree with you on that.
It has to be recovery. Oh my god.
Oh, nice. I think you got it now, right?
Yeah, it's always like that. I might even go up to groove clear, but it's rare.
Lots of recovery.
Oh, there we go.
Right here. Nice.
Yeah, this recovery part
Excellent.
is the only part where you get like a small break that you can kind of relax and recover your gauge. But it's really, really difficult. Yeah, as you can see over here, I don't really feel too good about this, but it's okay. It's okay.
Hey, a PB, you lowered your miscount.
Oh, really? Nice. 12.
Yeah, minus
that's not
12.
too bad. That's not too bad.
Hey, we take those.
Of course. Hey, let me try to get a little bit higher, because why not? If I go into satellites, I guess 4 or 5 even? Yeah, that's a really good one.
Cutter, great song.
Yeah, I know.
Emo Cosine, also one of the more well-known BMS composers. Lots of their songs are available in other rhythm games and as singles, and he also makes albums, and great guy. Great music.
Also, it's a classic example of a song which has this like edgy vibe to it. A sudden change in the style, but you're gonna see for yourselves.
Oh yeah, it starts out kind of cute, but it takes a shift real quick later on. Of course, that future bass squeaky door sample.
I love it. I have no idea where did it originate from, but I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's great though, and it's in every future bass song.
Because it's actually officially forbidden to put your song in to a VMS event as a future bass unless you have the sound. The same goes for shattering glass sound in hardcore songs.
Oh yeah, you definitely need that one in hardcore songs. It's become sort of a running joke at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
So as you can see, the vibe of the song changed already, and it's become a lot more grimy, for a lack of a better word, I guess. Still an absolute banger though, but it's just one of those songs that changes drastically.
But that's definitely the first time I played it so consistently, so that's very nice.
Oh yeah, no, I was playing great also, actually. While warming up, I was doing horribly, and I don't know, I was just surprised to perform so well during the actual showcase itself, which I guess is pretty cool. I guess the same is happening to you. Oh, you're on pace for a hard clear right here. Looking good.
I already have it.
Get it again! Consistency!
Yeah, if I have it here, it should happen. Yeah, that's nice.
Nice. So I guess one important aspect to mention about DP is that one of the more difficult patterns in this game mode are stairs. And they're a little easier on SP, but people still struggle with them, especially if you play on controller instead of a keyboard, because you can play this game on keyboard. It's definitely, staircases on DP are a whole different level, and if you want to make a difficult chart for DP, just slap a lot of staircases from left to right and right to left.
Yeah, because like what you have to keep in mind that if you want to play a staircase on DP, you only have 5 fingers available, so you have to kind of move your thumb to the side and kind of figure out what to do with index finger, ring finger, middle finger, you know, all that. It gets really difficult, but over time, they're really satisfying to play.
You could almost say it resembles playing the keyboard.
Yeah, actually it does. I'm looking for something really good.
Hey, are you gonna play lots of spices?
I could.
Just a quick heads up.
This
will have to be the last one.
Yeah, sure.
So
okay, so
make it a good one.
Lots of spices is gonna be a great way to end this. Sure thing. I should have it here somewhere. Wait, I definitely have a hard clear on that. Yeah, there we go. All right.
There we go.
It is a gimmick song, just to say that already. So it's gonna feature a lot of weird scroll moments where the song slows down for a while that you have to get used to.
Yeah.
This is the only thing.
Changes.
Yeah, this is the only thing that I actually have to memorize here and focus on.
Great song though, for sure.
I forgot to turn on the video.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. PB incoming. Maybe.
Oh yeah, here we go. Oh. Oh, Kazo.
Oh, okay,
Nice.
that's not enough.
What
but
a
that's still
gamer,
nice.
everybody.
Yeah, heart clear is really nice. Every time I get
What a
this, I'm really
gamer.
happy with that. So yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Minus 27 only.
Nice. Consistent king.
All right.
All right, I think that about wraps it up for the SP plus DP showcase.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be
Kazo,
it.
do you have any last words?
Well, thank you so much for having us here. I think that's the first thing we have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope we interested you in BMS, in playing it, or even creating music for it, because that's an option as well. Yeah.
Very great creative outlet. I guess I am also very grateful for the host for allowing us to show the game to the public and allowing us to be on stream. Me and Kazo, we stream regularly. We also stream. Well, speaking for me at least, I stream this game almost daily, and it would mean a lot to see some new people in chat. And I guess the same goes for Kazo. He also streams the game regularly, and yeah, we're both, chilling. We're both gamers, and thank you all for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for being here and blowing all of our minds. So this was really a really great experience. I loved watching it. And I called for a donation train for people that got their mind blown, right? We have a $25 donation by Anonymous, so I think Anonymous got their mind blown 5 times at least. So thank you very much for that. Anyway, with this run, with this showcase being done, we will have Jew Horse playing Jew on the Grudge any percent. This time, really, he will play it next. And we will be back with that after a quick intermission.
All right.